What's up, everybody? Matt Yari here, coming at you with my latest stream of consciousness. So you can hear whatever my soul, or whatever the fuck it is, has to say. Just want to get present to the moment. I think I want to start these videos. I have a new tactic. I'll start off these videos by just talking about how I feel. I'm going to talk about my little feelings, because I think that most people, pretty much everybody, certainly myself, are in many ways disconnected from our own feelings. Like throughout childhood, we learn different ways of interpreting and responding to our feelings, oftentimes in ways that are self-destructive, that are not helpful. You know, we learn to suppress anger. If you get punished for expressing anger as a child, then you learn to not express it, and then you kind of hold on to it, and then it shows up in your life in all these other ways. And so that's why people need therapy and all that other bullshit, which is a whole nother conversation. But learning to get in touch with how you feel is the basis of how you connect with yourself, right? And then the other part of that is to understand your feelings, to feel your feelings, to like connect to them, but not letting them dictate your behavior. That's a very important caveat. When people talk about, again, connecting with your feelings, that's different from, oh, I feel bad, therefore I'm going to cope with that feeling in this self-destructive way. You can feel bad or sad or whatever it is, but you still got to take the right action. That's what it all comes down to, is how do you behave? You got to behave the correct way despite how you feel. So, it's just something I learned. Still working on keeping myself on track with those consistent behaviors, like taking these videos. Anyways, where was I going with that? So how do I feel right now? I feel pretty good. How do I feel? I feel somewhat happy with myself. Again, I'm working on keeping my attention on productive behaviors and avoiding self-destructive behaviors. And that's been a lifelong battle. I think it's something everybody struggles with. I think that is the human condition, is doing the right things, which we know what they are, and avoiding doing the wrong things, which we know what they are too. But they're still tempting. And so, I also had a dream the other night. I've had this type of dream a few times, where I look in the mirror in the dream, and this dream in particular, when I looked at myself in the mirror, my head and my body was like extremely sunburnt. Like my skin was bright red, and everything was all puffy and really ugly and gross. And I've had at least one or two other dreams where I looked at myself in the mirror, and I've come to believe that this is part of my self-image. You know, those are my insecurities. It's things that I am, maybe ashamed or frustrated of with myself. And you can see that in the dreams. And I think what that comes down to is, again, you know what the right behavior is. You know what the wrong behavior is. The wrong behavior is much more tempting. The right behavior can be harder to sit down and focus and do. And so it's much easier to distract yourself with, TVs, junk food, weed, porn, whatever behavior doesn't actually contribute to your life. It just kind of makes you feel good real quick. Versus the other things that are more painful and you have to exert yourself, but they do contribute to your life in the long run. And so I think your self-image is a reflection of your past behavior. Like, how are you acting in this world? If you know you're doing the wrong things, well, your body and your soul are keeping the score. And I think the good news is you can always, as long as you have the desire to change, as long as that's important to you, you make it a priority. Again, trying to become the kind of person who does the right things all of the time. As I drive by a dog pooping on the side of the road. But today I feel pretty good. I do feel good. I've arrived at my destination. I feel good because I sat down and I was able to get some things done. I did spend some time kind of dicking around on the phone, which I don't want to be doing. One thing that has been helpful is a new journaling technique. Try to journal once a week. I don't think journaling every day is particularly helpful. It just becomes tedious. Or it could be helpful too. But at least once a week, sitting down and getting my mind right. And looking for ways to replace those unproductive behaviors with something more productive. So one of those would be anytime I feel tempted to waste time scrolling Instagram or just playing games on the phone, instead of doing that, just drop down and do a set of burpees and really exhaust myself and push my body. The more I do those, I can feel my body changing. I can feel my body getting stronger, and I'm trying to use that as a replacement to refocus myself when getting off track. So that's one thing. And, I don't know. It's a process. It's a journey. And I'm trying to get better. So thank you for watching.